he tries to avoid paying you.
We know what your case is worth, and we won't stop until we recover every dollar you deserve.
Proud partner of the Atlanta Braves.
From the station that's on your side, News 12, First at 5, continues.
We got reporters on the ground this evening live at 5 as the second week of Under the Lights begins. And after several students were hospitalized yesterday due to heat-related illnesses, the focus tonight is on just how hot it is going to be this evening. Now, this is a map showing the current heat.
Be out and about since it is Friday. Have an update on the weekend, just about 10 minutes.
All right, thanks for that, Riley. Heat a major factor for sporting events today as Richmond County pushed pretty much all of their games back to 8 o'clock tonight. Last night, at least 3 students were hospitalized because of heat-related illnesses during a cross-country meet at Diamond Lakes. Want to show you a look at the games starting later tonight because of the heat. Cross Creek at Glen Hills, Aquinas at Westside, Hepzibah at Laney, and Savannah at ARC. On our South Carolina side, at least 5 games will now start at 8 o'clock. A big one we're covering tonight, Strom-Thurmond versus Midland Valley. The rest of the games are on your screen. And to keep track of the heat, teams are using something called a wet bulb globe thermometer. Now, this device uses several factors like the heat index and solar radiation to determine whether it's safe for teams to play outside and practice. Under 82, you've got a green light. Above 92, no outdoors workout. That's why teams have been working out inside or very early in the morning. Our Dan Booth joins us now live with our Under the Lights coverage to get it going. And Dan, we know heat is the big storyline tonight.
And we were talking about it earlier. I was feeling it last night when I was over in Barnwell, and it just got to a whole nother level tonight. And when it comes to Cross Creek, they're battling more than just the heat. While most of our teams got the chance to shake off the rust in week 1, their game against Butler was canceled last week, so the Razorbacks are kicking off their season tonight. News 12's Nick Veland joins us live from Cross Creek. Nick, how's the heat been impacting their preparations for what is now their season opener against Glen Hills?
Yeah, well, heat's definitely a major factor. Just staying out here for the last 5 minutes, I'm already starting to sweat, and it's getting hotter and hotter as it gets closer and closer to kickoff. That's now at 8 o'clock. And all week, they've had to limit practices outside. Majority of the time, they've been in their gym, and they've been lifting weights inside in the AC. And we saw that this afternoon around 2 p.m., players were stretching and lifting inside as they normally would on game day, but being confined to 4 walls is something they've been used to all week. They've been hitting the weights and also running plays in the gym because of it being too hot to practice outside. Head coach Izzard Horn says that they've been keeping the intensity up inside, and he gives credit to Cross Creek's trainer for keeping these kids safe.
Water, cold towels. Our trainer, Miss Marissa, she's been doing a great, phenomenal job with keeping us up on the wet ball readings and when we can go out and practice and how much time we have and the breaks we have to give them. So she's played a major part in making sure that the guys are ready to combat the heat for tonight's game.
And coming up all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, I'll have more on this game and how Cross Creek's getting ready to play in their first game of the season. Dan?
Thank you, Nick. Find a way to stay cool out there, and I know there's a lot of people at Cross Creek who can't wait to kick off the new season. Now, in addition to checking back in with Nick at Cross Creek, we're going to talk to Will Volk, who's over at Midland Valley, and our Under the Lights coverage will be continuing on News 12 at 6 o'clock by heading over to Swainsboro as well to check in with the Tigers to see how they can follow up last year's appearance of making it to the Class 1A Division II state championship game.
And while trying to help an aggressive dog, she was attacked, but Dr. Emily Martin says this is not going to stop her from pushing forward. These are new photos of the extent of the injuries to her arm after a dog attacked her at Springwood Veterinary Clinic last week. And this evening, we are hearing more about how Dr. Martin has made a huge impact on the pet community here. Our Sydney Hood joins us now live in our newsroom. In Sydney, we have seen an outpouring of love and support from fellow veterinarians as well as patients.
Absolutely, Meredith. Dr. Martin's name is reaching folks from Georgia to Oregon to all around the globe, really. And like you said, the support for her is non-stop. Everyone here has a Dr. Martin story of some kind to share, whether it be her calling to check in on you and your pet or meeting you at her clinic in the middle of the night for an emergency. It's very clear she is more than just a vet to many.
She is a godsend to animals, and it literally breaks my heart that she's gone through this. She has become more than a vet to not only us, but to so many other people.
Coming up all new tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we'll talk more with patients of Dr. Martin's and hear from them why she is more than just a doctor to them.
Thank you, Sydney. We are wishing Dr. Martin a speedy recovery so she can get back to doing what she loves so much. I know it's tough for her not to be at work. Firefighters stepping up to help distract kids from a scary situation. We'll have this story coming up. Riley?
Well, heat advisories will continue this weekend. We also have the chance for a few severe thunderstorms. And then next week, we could be talking about a tropical storm heading our way. I'll have an update on the full forecast next. Next week, we're going to see those temps finally cool off a little bit. Highs in the 80s and seeing the 60s again by next Friday.
Over in South Carolina, we've got a fun matchup between Midland Valley and Strom-Thurmond. A couple of teams that are loaded with talent and could turn some heads this year towards the playoffs. News 12's Will Volk is battling the elements, and he is live over in Midland Valley right now to help us get ready for tonight's showdown between the Mustangs and the Rebels.
Yeah, Dan, so this is one of those matchups that's being affected by the heat, with kickoff time here being pushed back 30 minutes to 8 o'clock. It also means warm-up times have been pushed back, too. You can see no one's out here on the field right now. Definitely a good thing, because I can confirm it is hot out here. But like you said, Dan, this could be a really fun matchup tonight. Strom-Thurmond's newest wide receiver, Braylon Staley, is capable of making big plays. He transferred over the summer from Aiken. He's a 4-star recruit committed to Tennessee. Strom-Thurmond coach Andrew Webb believes Staley is special, saying he's humble and a great teammate. Webb thinks he really elevates their offense. When defenders are more focused on him, that opens the door for other players to shine too.
I take a big part of the defense away. You know, they eyes stuck on me, so get my teammates open.
The things that he does with the ball in his hands speaks for itself. You know, he kind of holds your breath when he touches it, because he's got a chance to score about every time he's got it.
And it's been an interesting week in the Staley family, because guess where Braylon's sister goes to school? Yeah, right here at Midland Valley. Coming up tonight at 6 o'clock, we'll talk a little bit about the Mustangs. We'll also take a closer look at tonight's matchup.
Thank you, Will. This is going to be a really fun matchup, and do your thing to stay cool out there.
Yeah, I'm thinking about being in the AC right now. Pretty thankful for that. For young kids being involved in a car accident, that can be absolutely terrifying. They don't understand fully what's going on. So when a vehicle crash happened right in front of a Greenville fire station, firefighters stepped up to help distract 2 children involved. Carmine Guimai has this heartwarming story.
We heard a loud commotion out in the front that sounded very definitively like a car accident. Once we determined that nobody was injured, our next thing was to figure out what we could do to help.
That happened right here on the property of the fire department itself. And then a special suggestion came from an unlikely person.
My son actually had the idea of, do they want to play football? My son plays football. He loves it, and these kids are about his age, a little bit older. So he went and grabbed his football, brought it out, and they started playing. These guys are playing defense, getting their ankles broken. It was a good thing. They had to try hard. These kids were talented.
Greenville firefighters at Station 4 on Stone Avenue using football to help 2 10-year-olds involved in a traumatic crash.
I know that if I was one of those kids, you know, I'd want something to take my mind off of the wreck that was going on. Just seeing the kids laugh and smile, having a good time, that was probably the best thing about it.
Almost 2,300 likes on the City of Greenville's Instagram post with the caption, "Above and Beyond." But Lieutenant Kuykendall says they were simply following the golden rule.
We treat people the way that I would want to be treated, and I want my family treated. As long as you go by that, I don't think you can go
really do any wrong.
Kuykendall and Cresswell each have 2 young kids themselves, and this brought out the father in the firefighters.
That extends beyond the job of being a fireman, and what can we do to make a positive impact on people's lives?
You know, I'm happy to do that because that's what makes this job the best job in the world.
In their combined 16 years on the job, it's the first time any of them have used football for patient care. And just like that, they're off again to help however they can.
Oh, how great is that? The power of football and just taking the time to play with kids.
Apple has issued a warning that iPhones can catch fire or give you a pretty good shock if you do something many of us do every night. I'm Jamie Tucker. I'll tell you what that is coming up.
Get your St. Law firm on the line. Call 999-999.
Apple is issuing a warning to its billions of iPhone users, warning that the phone could cause serious injury if you don't charge it correctly, and is something many smartphone users do every single night. Our consumer tech reporter Jamie Tucker explains.
About 6 out of every 10 people put their phone on charge before they go to bed. Okay, but many of those people keep it in bed with them or stick it under a pillow. Apple says, though, that if a phone is close to you for an extended period of time, it could give you an electrical shock or it could even catch fire. The recent warning posted to Apple's updated safety information. Prolonged heat exposure can cause the battery to cause discomfort or injury. Batteries just aren't built to withstand heat for very long. Apple warns iPhone users not to place the phone under a blanket, a pillow, or next to your body when it's connected to a charger. It should be placed face up on a wireless charger or flat on a table. Now, what about the charging cable? Apple says it's fine to use cables and chargers that are MFA or MFI, made for iPhone, made for Apple.
Apple is issuing a warning to its billions of iPhone users, warning that the phone could cause serious injury if you don't charge it correctly, and is something many smartphone users do every single night. Our consumer tech reporter Jamie Tucker explains.
About 6 out of every 10 people put their phone on charge before they go to bed. Okay, but many of those people keep it in bed with them or stick it under a pillow. Apple says, though, that if a phone is close to you for an extended period of time, it could give you an electrical shock or it could even catch fire. The recent warning posted to Apple's updated safety information. Prolonged heat exposure can cause the battery to cause discomfort or injury. Batteries just aren't built to withstand heat for very long. Apple warns iPhone users not to place the phone under a blanket, a pillow, or next to your body when it's connected to a charger. It should be placed face up on a wireless charger or flat on a table. Now, what about the charging cable? Apple says it's fine to use cables and chargers that are MFA or MFI, made for iPhone, made for Apple. But, and this is important, cheap, flimsy charging cables that you might see in gas stations or discount stores do pose a risk of damaging the battery and causing a fire. Now, you might be able to get away with using these cheap chargers in a pinch, but they should not be used with any unattended phones, such as when you're sleeping. This is important safety information, not just for the iPhone, but for any smartphone, because they all use similar battery technology. That's What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
In its update, Apple also warns that jewelry, coins, keys, or any other metallic object should not be placed near a wireless charger, as it could cause the charger to overheat. 3 Hilton Head Island firefighters are being recognized for their bravery. Battalion Chief David Bell, fire apparatus operator Brendan Horlsbeck, and Lieutenant Sean Kavlik answered a call for a home engulfed in flames last September. They went into the fire to save victims stuck inside and even administered CPR to one of the victims who was in cardiac arrest. Later, they were reunited with that woman who thanked the 3 men for saving her life.
The last time you saw that person, for lack of a better term, they weren't alive. And then to be reunited with them, where they've made a recovery, then it really drives home why we do what we do.
Each of the firefighters were awarded the International Association of Fire Chiefs' most prestigious award, given to those who demonstrate exceptional courage and selflessness in the face of danger. A new garden over at the Georgia Cancer Center will soon offer crops for our communities. Hydroponics is a way of growing plants in water without soil, and a new hydroponics garden is now growing inside a micro farm located right inside a research building. Now the goal, to grow more crops with less space and to give healthier alternatives to families in need of healthy food and fresh food options.
This will allow us to be able to produce about, in a calendar year, 400 to 900 pounds of food that we are able to see if the community would want to eat from this. It's state-of-the-art, hydroponic fueled, as well as nutrient dense, and then so we'll be able to take the produce such as kale and butter lettuce and be able to basically give it away to the community.
What a great concept, and something you can learn how to do yourself at home, Riley.
Hydroponics, there you go. Cool way to grow some plants. Weekend forecast, you're going to want to find some water because it is going to be downright hot and humid. High temperatures staying in the mid to upper 90s both afternoons, but a little bit better opportunity for some storms. Now look at the forecast just after the break.
Wrap up summer at Ashley.
Breaking news live at 5, and sorry to be the one to pass this along. Riverside Middle School says one of its teachers, Miss Barbara Petty, has died. She was an 8th grade teacher. The school says death at any age can be difficult for kids to understand, so of course there will be additional counseling for students and staff. All right, you're taking a live look from Sky 12. Live over Midland Valley High School's football field, the Mustangs are preparing to face off against the strong Thurman Rebels tonight. And Riley, even through the screen, I think we can feel the heat out there.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Take a look at our Beach Island camera. You can just see our zoomed-in view, just kind of a very hot and hazy look at downtown Augusta. And you're definitely feeling it if you've been outside. 96 degrees right now. It still feels like over 100 degrees. And temperatures likely will stay in the upper 90s to near 100 on the heat index, at least through sunset tonight. So it is going to stay, we're going to stick with this dangerous heat at least through around 8 p.m. So a lot of those football games have been pushed to an 8 p.m. kickoff instead of 7:30 tonight. Temperatures will still be in the 80s by around 10 o'clock tonight, so it is going to stay pretty muggy even once that sun does go down. Now for tomorrow, we are going to see a little bit better opportunity to see some thunderstorms. Luckily, no storms in the forecast this evening or tonight, so you can see mostly clear skies across the CSRA. We're going to have to wait until tomorrow to bring back the chance for a few hit-and-miss thunderstorms. Sunday looks like the better opportunity to see rainfall this weekend, but still can't rule out a few isolated thunderstorms Saturday afternoon. Saturday is definitely going to be the hotter of the 2 days with highs back to near 100, mid-90s still on Sunday. And then once we move into next week, we are going to continue with high rain chances and a little bit cooler temperatures as well. So highs will actually cool off into the 80s by next Tuesday. And remember, we are keeping a close eye on Invest 93L, possible potential tropical impacts late next week.
All right, thanks for that, Riley. And thanks for joining us for News 12 Live at 5. Richard Rogers, Laura Warren, heading into the studio as we speak, getting ready for News 12 at 6 o'clock. Don't go anywhere.